All right, so a little bit of clickbait. Not gonna lie there. We're gonna talk about how hammer changed about how I think about a situation, how I thought about a situation, how it changed a little bit about how I was thinking. I went into a situation where I wanted to get to the point where I can be more self sufficient, where I'm not depending on everybody for everything. First things first, let's figure out how to grow vegetables. Let's learn how to, not figure it out. Other people have already figured it out. You just need to learn how to do so. Okay, what's the first thing I need? Well, I've got a lot of rodents, and one way to combat them is to have raised grow beds. Okay, sweet. Let's figure out how to do it. Let's see if we can just purchase them. Do we have the funds? No, we don't have the funds. Okay, how do we do this without funds? Figure out how to get materials. Okay, people throw out pallets. Pallets, you can take them apart, do whatever. You've got free lumber and free lumber, and you have free nails. Take the nails out of the pallets, take one of them apart, use the excess materials. Great, we figured that out. I get the materials, I get the liners, the actual wood, the lumber, so the pallets from work for free. I get all of it ready. I get a free afternoon, and what happens? I get out there and I realize I don't have a hammer large enough for this. Or I have a tack hammer and that's it. I'm digging through my toolbox. I'm like, what? This is all I have? A freaking tack hammer? So I built these grow beds with pallets and materials that I got for free. I went and asked the boss, hey, are you going to throw these out? He said, yes. I said, can I take them home for free? Because I ain't got no money. Got 2 kids and one on the way. A little pricey. The lesson that I learned, having the right tools for the job is very important in succeeding in your goals. If you don't have the right tools for the job, you can get hurt. I smashed the crap out of my knuckles trying to use this little tack hammer to rip off boards. Hilarious. 6'4", 210-pound meat nugget out here using this tiny little 6, maybe 7-inch tack hammer that's like got a head that's like this big, and I'm cranking on these pallet boards. Okay, this is not the right tool for the job. I jam the crap out of my knuckles. I'm like, all right, let's go find a hammer. So I'm looking, there's all kinds of different. I'm a little overwhelmed. There's like 30,000 different choices. Like legitimately, there's 30 different choices. I'm like, okay, do I need a hammer? Do I need a hammer and a pry bar? Or can I just get a hammer that acts like a pry bar in this instance? It's not like I'm prying up tile, nothing too bad. Just prying, just enough to get where I need to be. Just enough to get the job done. Okay, so I'm looking at hammers. You got all kinds of different heads, all kinds of different stuff. I come across this one and I'm like, oh, I see something I like. Everything else has fiberglass handles. I have had no luck with fiberglass handles. I break them. There's full steel handles, but they're hollow in the middle. They're a lot cheaper, but they're not able to reuse them as much. You can't put the head on a new handle if you break the handle. I'm not going to break the head. If I do, then there's some other things going on that I need to worry about. Maybe a lack of brain cells up here. So I come across this one. It is a 20-ounce. Hold on. It is a 20-ounce head with a smooth face hammer with a straight claw. 20-ounce head. It has a hickory handle and in a California framing style. Smooth face, straight claw, extra large squared strike face. I'm not going to memorize all this, so I'm just going to read it off. Dual side nailed pullers, super convenient. These little suckers came in the most handy. But my favorite thing about this is the fact that it's got this handy dandy little nail setter. It's a magnet right there. You put the nail in and some manly men might know that already. I, however, have not touched any sort of framing stuff or any sort of hammer in this instance in a long time, if ever. Nothing this fancy. I've not needed to. I do plumbing. I do electrical work a little bit. I mainly work on my vehicles. I'm not great at it, but I'm trying to learn. Never seen that before. Super, super convenient. The flat face works as a pry bar, everything I need. But the biggest thing is I want to learn how to replace handles. So what better way to do that than to have a wooden handle that I can take care of. I'm also going to do a video later on about how to make your own handle. I know there's other videos. I'm going to follow one of those other videos and show you the actual normal idiot, not me, um, making my own handle from start to finish. We're going to go out, get a piece of lumber, and then shave it down, get it all treated, boiled linseed oil, the whole 9 yards. Um, First thing I'm going to do with this hammer is it's got a lacquer finish on it. I don't like that. I never have. I know a little bit about taking care of these types of tools. First things first, I'm going to take all this lacquer off with some paint remover. And then we're going to put some boiled linseed oil after we sand it down. Put a couple coats of boiled linseed oil, helps seal it in there. Works really well at preserving your tools. Then, second thing I noticed was the fact that these are circular. Forgive me, I don't remember what these are called. Wedges, circular wedges. Super, super love these. I've had the straight wedges, even a cross wedge in certain tools come out. Just, whoop, there goes your head. I'm like, what the frick? Where'd it go? I look behind me and I'm like, oh, that could have really caused some damage. Never had that happen with the circular wedges. There's some other technical name. I don't know it right off the top of my head. That's okay. I don't need to know. I'll learn what it is later. But it got me thinking, I didn't have a ton of money, but I built these grow beds with dirt that I cleaned out myself, that I looked up a video. How do you clean dirt? What is necessary for dirt? Literally just looked up a YouTube video on how to solve the problem that I was having. One problem after another. Okay, I don't know how to fix this. You have the tools at your disposal. You have the ability to go online and look up anything you need. Instructions, you might have to dig a little bit because it's not always right there readily available. But with a little bit of effort, you can get whatever you need done as long as you think about it as a hurdle that needs to be overcome instead of a barrier stopping you from moving forward. The thing with the hammer reminded me of an old saying: sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, but both are good. Both are necessary for building. In that instance, when I was like, I had everything. I was like moving forward, one step after another, everything going for me. And then I'm like, dude, I don't have a hammer. I don't have the most important part. I don't have the tool for the job. You have the tools for the job. Go out there and take them. Use them. If you don't use them, if you are just sitting there not doing anything, then what good are your tools? So that's how a hammer changed how I thought about a situation.